What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Zhilei, Big Bang, Zhang. Get this. Zhilei Zhang states that I will put mental, physical pressure on Parker, but better than Joyce. Ha ha! Let's see. He says, I was a little surprised that Parker took the fight with me so fast, Zhang told BoxingScene.com through his translator. That says a lot about this guy. He's a warrior. He doesn't pick and choose his opponents. I give him a lot of respect. Okay? And he went on to say, before the fight, I was expecting Parker to go the distance with and beat Wilder, Zhang recalled. That was my pre-fight prediction, and he delivered it. So I was happy to see that. He said the big reason was activity for Parker beating Wilder. He said Parker has been fighting. He has fought 4 times last year, but when you look at Wilder, he's been inactive. So his timing was off, and he had ring rust. That's why I picked Parker. But also, Wilder depends a lot on his right hand. He feels like he can knock out everybody, which is true, but if the opponent capitalizes off of that, then what else does he have? Okay. And he says, I think it was because Joyce's constant pressure broke Parker mentally and physically, Zhang said. And when Parker threw punches, he was not able to rock Joyce with those punches. So at the end of the day, it was the mental pressure and the physical pressure. I'm looking to do that too, but in a more devastating way, I feel that I will put mental and physical pressure on Parker, but I will do it better than Joyce did. Those are the words of Zhilei Big Bang Zhang. And let me counterpunch. Physical and mental pressure. Well, I think the mental will come from the fact of the chin. Okay, the whiskers. Right? I think, if anything, that's going to come down to the whiskers of Zhang. When he hits Zhang and he finds out that he can't hurt Zhang, just like he did to Joyce, it's going to break him down, even though he fought to the best of his ability. You know, look, Joseph Parker fought Joyce like a smaller guy trying to fight a bully. That's how it looked. To me, it looked like a guy that was fighting valiantly, not to get beat up, but getting beat up. That's what it was. It was like, bop, 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 because his punches were hurting him, but his punches were not hurting him. His punches were not doing the same. They were not reciprocated the same way in forms of power, okay? So, that's what happened with Joyce. I think Joyce was a guy that was just fighting a losing battle. You know what I'm saying? And I think, with Zhilei Zhang, though, can Zhilei Zhang physically do that? And I don't know if he can. Honestly, I just don't know if he can apply that same pressure, because applying that same pressure means constant movement and constant walking a fighter down, cutting off the ring of that fighter, throwing those bows. Now, he is a strategic fighter. He's a counterpuncher, okay? Counterpunchers like Canelo and other counterpunchers, James Toney, they're not really those type of guys that really walk you down, because to counter somebody, a lot of times they expect those guys to throw punches or certain punches to set up counters, okay? So what ends up happening in this situation, if Zhang thinks that he's going to do what Joyce did, coming and breaking the ring down, I don't think that he has the gas tank to do that unless he's going to be in some hell of a shape. And I don't know what type of shape that Zhilei Zhang's going to be in, but I'll tell you this. Zhilei Zhang is a guy, he's not a muscular dude. He's just a big dude. You know what I mean? So we don't know how, well a shape he's in. He's in good enough shape maybe to get the job done. But I think with Zhang, I think of punch placement, punch accuracy. That's what he's going to need. Constant pressure. I don't think he's going to do it like Joyce. That's the reason why styles make fights. So if you try to change your style or be like another fighter, you may be messing up. Okay, that may be the wrong decision because see how Joseph Parker beat Andy Ruiz like he did. He boxed. He constantly boxed, and he stayed on that back foot. Bop, 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 bop. And he moved, and he boxed, and he moved, and he boxed, and he stayed out of the way of those big punches. Even though I don't know if Andy punches like Zhang. I don't think he does. I think Zhang punches harder. He's just a bigger guy. But I don't know if Zhang can apply that pressure like that. When I heard it, I was like, I don't know. Don't try to be like Joyce. Try to be like Zhang. You know what I mean? Try to capitalize when the Parker comes in. Then you can set up your shots, that right uppercut, that left hook. You know what I mean? So, I mean, those type of things. Set those things up. I'm sorry, he's a southpaw. So, set that up how you can set that up. Don't try to be like someone else because it seems like to me you're trying to convince people that you can do the same thing or a similar thing to Joseph Parker. And I think that type of competition brings constant pressure on you because you're trying to do something that you normally are not accustomed to doing. Because if that was the case, you would have done that shit to Filip Hrgovic. Okay, you would have done it to Filip Hrgovic, and you didn't. You know what I mean? So Filip was able to do exactly what Joseph Parker did to Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? So I think, if anything at all, Zhang, I think he needs to stay with his own game plan. But if that's his game plan, I would like to see him try. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Zhilei Zhang stating that he is going to put more physical and mental pressure upon Joseph Parker. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.